The 2024 presidential election, a tight race between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. As the 2024 U.S. presidential election approaches, the race between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris is becoming one of the most intense and closely watched political contests in recent history. Polls indicate that the candidates are nearly tied in critical battleground states, such as Pennsylvania and Arizona, which will play a decisive role in determining the next occupant of the White House. Both campaigns are laser-focused on pivotal issues like the economy, border security, and abortion, which are shaping the national conversation and the outcome of this election. The candidates: experience versus new leadership. The two candidates represent starkly different visions for America. Donald Trump, who served as the 45th president from 2017 to 2021, remains a dominant figure in the Republican Party. His platform continues to resonate with many voters, particularly his promises to put America first on issues ranging from immigration to trade. Trump is running on a platform of restoring his administration's policies, arguing that his presidency brought economic growth and security to the nation. He appeals strongly to his base with messages about law and order, border control, and economic prosperity, while also emphasizing his outsider status in Washington, positioning himself as a candidate who will challenge the political establishment once again. On the other side, Kamala Harris, the current vice president under President Joe Biden, is making history as the first woman of color to run for the presidency on a major party ticket. Harris is championing herself as a leader for the future, representing a new era of progressive leadership. Her campaign is centered on building on the Biden administration's achievements in areas such as climate change, healthcare, and social justice. Harris is also focused on expanding economic opportunities for all Americans and tackling systemic inequalities. Her candidacy represents not only a continuation of the Democratic agenda, but also a step forward in terms of inclusivity and addressing the concerns of younger and more diverse voters. Key issues driving the election. Both Trump and Harris have identified three key issues that are driving their campaigns and defining the race: the economy, border security, and abortion. 1. The economy: inflation, jobs, and economic recovery. The economy is the top issue for most voters in this election. The U.S. has faced significant economic challenges in recent years, particularly due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting inflation. While the Biden administration has overseen an economic recovery, many voters are still concerned about rising prices, particularly for housing, healthcare, and groceries. Donald Trump is focusing on his previous administration's economic record, highlighting tax cuts, deregulation, and job creation. He argues that his policies led to a booming economy before the pandemic hit and promises to restore that growth by reducing government intervention, lowering taxes, and supporting American industries. Trump's economic message is heavily focused on cutting taxes for businesses and promoting domestic energy production, including fossil fuels. Kamala Harris is positioning herself as a candidate focused on the middle class and working families. She supports the Biden administration's infrastructure investments, which aim to create millions of jobs while modernizing America's roads, bridges, and clean energy initiatives. Harris is also emphasizing wage increases, affordable health care, and policies that promote economic equity, particularly for marginalized communities. Her campaign is appealing to voters who are concerned about income inequality and the need for continued investment in social programs. 2. Border security, immigration, and national security. Border security and immigration are central issues in the 2024 election, with both candidates offering starkly different approaches. Trump, known for his hardline stance on immigration, is once again advocating for stricter border controls. He has vowed to finish building the border wall with Mexico, a central promise from his first term. Trump's campaign is focusing on reducing illegal immigration, enforcing stronger deportation policies, and cracking down on what he describes as sanctuary cities. For many of Trump's supporters, these issues are tied to concerns about national security and the belief that stricter immigration policies will protect American jobs. Harris, in contrast, supports a more humane approach to immigration. She advocates for comprehensive immigration reform, which would include a pathway to citizenship for dreamers and undocumented immigrants who contribute to the U.S. economy. Harris also emphasizes the importance of addressing the root causes of immigration, such as poverty and violence in Central America. While her stance on immigration is more progressive, she still acknowledges the need for border security, though her policies focus on modernizing border technology rather than expanding physical barriers. 3. Abortion, a defining issue for the election. The issue of abortion has taken center stage in the 2024 race, especially in the wake of the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade. The decision to leave abortion laws up to individual states has created a patchwork of access across the country, and the debate over reproductive rights is deeply polarizing the electorate. Trump has embraced the court's decision and is running as a staunch pro-life candidate. He has pledged to support legislation that would further restrict abortion access at the federal level, resonating with his conservative base. Trump's position on abortion is a key part of his appeal to evangelical voters and other socially conservative groups who have long championed the pro-life movement. Harris, by contrast, has made the defense of reproductive rights a central theme of her campaign. She has pledged to codify Roe v. Wade into federal law, ensuring nationwide access to abortion services. Harris's stance is designed to rally progressive voters, particularly women and younger voters who see abortion access as a fundamental issue of personal freedom and bodily autonomy. Her campaign is working to highlight the sharp contrast between her and Trump on this issue, framing the election as a referendum on women's rights. The battleground states, Pennsylvania and Arizona. With national polls showing a near tie, the battleground states of Pennsylvania and Arizona are emerging as critical to both campaigns. These states were pivotal in the 2020 election and are once again expected to play a decisive role in determining the outcome in 2024. Pennsylvania, a traditionally Democratic state that flipped for Trump in 2016 before returning to the Democrats in 2020, is deeply divided along urban and rural lines. Harris is focusing on urban centers like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, where she is emphasizing economic recovery and healthcare, while Trump is appealing to rural voters with his messages on jobs, energy, and border security. Arizona, once a Republican stronghold, is becoming increasingly competitive due to changing demographics. Harris's campaign is targeting the growing Latino population and younger voters, while Trump is relying on his strong support among older voters and conservative-leaning suburban areas. Conclusion. As the 2024 presidential election approaches, the race between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is shaping up to be a close and hard-fought battle. Both candidates are appealing to starkly different visions for America's future, with key issues like the economy, border security, and abortion playing major roles in shaping voter preferences. The outcome will likely hinge on the decisions of voters in critical battleground states like Pennsylvania and Arizona, where the race is neck and neck. The stakes are high, and both campaigns are pulling out all the stops to win over undecided voters as Election Day approaches.